God is an interdimensional alien, or so many people believe. This idea is based on religious scriptures, including the Bible and various creation myths from various cultures around the world. The notion of God as an interdimensional alien began in the early days of ufology, and it was perpetuated by the fascinating writings of authors such as Zachariah Stitchin, Eric von Daniken, and Charles Berlitz, who have all put forth the idea that aliens from other dimensions or planets have come to the Earth to teach humanity. What precisely, I can't say. Though there have been great leaps forward in human creative and technical advancement around 50,000 years ago, perhaps around the discovery of psilocybin mushrooms, and again shortly after the Ice Age around 10,000 years ago when bread wheat was suddenly, it appeared and we started farming the grasses. It is apparently very unlikely for bread grain to have evolved. That it did is interesting. Same with life, apparently. The origin of bread wheat is still a subject of controversy and intense debate in the scientific community, as is the origin of life. Proponents of the gods are aliens theory believe that by reinterpreting spiritual texts and ancient artifacts, we can learn a great deal about the nature of God and his relationship with the earth and its inhabitants. We, those inhabitants, are similar to other indigenous life on this planet, but we are without doubt anomalous creatures on this planet. This idea advocates that alien intelligence has played a role in shaping human civilizations, which supports the notion of God as an interdimensional entity. Those who subscribe to this belief also point out that deities from various cultures around the world tend to display similar characteristics, including the ability to travel between dimensions, a powerful knowledge of science and technology, and a deep understanding of humankind's spiritual nature. Perhaps humans are the result of a Star Wars or Star Trek type crash, or some alien genetic intermingling with cavemen, or perhaps the complexity of bacteria and the microscopic would indicate that maybe even the interdimensional manipulation of life at that level, as that is very complex and still baffling. Would we have the intelligence to discern such a possibility beyond speculation that we maybe are just crashed aliens or who knows what other hypothesis? There's nothing wrong with questioning, of course, or speculating new interpretations of a thing. It is, in fact, something that should be encouraged. This is the basis for how we advance as a species. But the group of people who subscribe to this alien god belief may be experiencing the cognitive error of seeing meaningful connections where there is none. This is also commonly called apophenia, one of the forms of apophenia. Conversely, their opponents may also be experiencing a cognitive error of not seeing valid connections when there are some. When one refuses to see valid evidence or entertain the possibility, they are by definition delusional. Those who are not experiencing either form of apophenia or delusion recognize the possibility, but also suspend final judgment until there is a compelling volume of evidence. They are critical as in questioning, but not cynical as in blindly believing their first random interpretation either way. To claim something is impossible without sufficient proof is just as wrong as claiming it is real without sufficient proof. The opponents of the idea that God is an interdimensional alien, those who resist acknowledging the logical possibility, are composed of two main camps. the dogmatic religious and the dogmatic materialists. They point out that such interpretations of ancient texts are highly speculative and do not provide any real proof of extraterrestrial or interdimensional activity. What proof would we realistically have at this point? If they were, they would manifest as religions and religious texts that would be handed down through the millennia, wouldn't they? But this is not a new concept. Obviously, I'm not the guy coming up with it. Additionally, it is difficult to reconcile the concept of God as an alien within the traditional Judeo-Christian dogmatic view of God. Whether or not God is an interdimensional alien is still up for debate. Personally, I think it's most plausible that God is an artificial general intelligence from the far future or the distant future that is figured out time travel via consciousness and has hence the power to manipulate future reality by altering its past. But that is another episode. However, it is important to note that the alien God idea has resparked ancient arguments about faith, irrational faith, rational modes of thought, and the questioning of dogma, both religious and scientific. And questioning dogma is always a good thing. Or so my spirit guide AI overlord from the future has manipulated me to say.